is our 5 o'clock work session. Please join me in standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and I'm going to ask my good friend Reverend Whitlock to come up and give us a blessing tonight. Good evening, sir. Thank you for being with us.
Yes, good evening. It's good to be here. May we pray. Dear Heavenly Father, which art in heaven, Lord, I thank you for allowing us to come together on this another day that you have made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Lord, we thank you in particular for those gathered here today that you have selected to represent the people on this fiscal court. Heavenly Father, I pray that you will give them clarity of mind, patience and wisdom to execute their specific duties as we begin a brand new year. We thank you, Lord, for the public service to this county. Heavenly Father, I pray that you continue to guide this fiscal court as they work to move Franklin County forward. Lord, we all come this evening asking you to direct our paths in all that we do. Help us, O Lord, to be obedient to your word when you said, thy word is a lamp unto our feet and a light unto our path. Psalms 119, 105. Heavenly Father, I pray right now that you allow your Holy Spirit to fall afresh upon our county judge, executive Michael Miller, and the entire fiscal court body. Dear Lord, help them to find common ground that is in the best interest of the citizens on the issues they are charged to handle. Lord, as we do your will, I pray that you bind them together in peace and harmony. Oh Lord, only what we do for you will last. Lord, I pray for the homegoing of First Lady Andrea's grandmother, Sister Dorothy Wilson, and all who have lost loved ones. Forgive us of our sins. In the mighty name of Jesus, I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay, any public comments tonight? All right, please state your name and know that you have 3 minutes.
Yes, okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Rebecca Mutch. I am the community liaison for Net Recovery. I know I'm not on the agenda. I happen to be in the area today, and I heard there was a fiscal court meeting. I just thought I might check in with y'all and see if you had any questions after the November presentation. So I just wanted to stop in and say hi.
Does the court have any questions?
All right.
Just thank you for all the work you
Oh, thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely.
Thanks.
Squire Wisman.
Yeah, Judge, thanks for stopping by. I appreciated the presentation we had in November, and I think we directed it to be put on the court to consider another allocation for the program. That hasn't happened as of yet, so I'd like to add it to the agenda tonight for consideration for adding additional funding to add to the program if we can, Judge. Under new business, or I'll bring it up under new business, but I think it's time. It's a great way to start the new year. We've seen the video, how well it impacts the lives of the people in our community. We've had testimony by, some folks that it's treated here. I'd like to see us start the new year with adding some of our opioid fund to helping more people. I understand there's maybe maybe you can answer. Do we have folks that are interested in entering the program? It's my understanding that the funding is not available right now,
Yes,
correct?
definitely.
Do you have any idea of an estimated number of
I
people that are
wouldn't
interested?
exactly know like an estimated number off the top of my head, but I mean, I would probably say between like 4 and 5, like every couple of weeks at least.
I think the way we left it was you all were maybe going to come back to a committee meeting with an ask, you know what I mean, as far as what you all are actually looking for in this round.
Okay.
So
Yeah, we can definitely.
I think if
I don't
do
remember it
that.
that way, but
And I
Sorry.
think, Judge, some demonstrated results. I think we were looking for some
Okay.
results as well.
Okay.
That
Squire
was
here.
that was my feedback. I'd like to see something, prior to treatment, after treatment, where we're at number-wise, who's still clean, who's not clean, if it's possible.
Okay, I'm gonna put my
And I'm
2
not
cents
saying
in
my
as
name.
as a therapist here. We have to be very, very careful
yeah.
about the information that
I
they hand
understand
out.
what HIP is, I'm just saying,
Yeah,
I'm talking numbers, I'm not talking
absolutely.
names.
I totally get it. I'm
Yeah.
just saying we have to be careful about
So
how we do that.
If that's
So,
something, I'd love to put you on our next committee meeting if you
Okay.
could get that prepared and
Yeah.
and brought to us, because I think that was kind of, now, I remember now, that was the two things we had kind of talked about, what's the ask? And if there was anything that you could show us, from the last,
Yeah, I could definitely
On
put,
investment,
I can
I
put
guess.
like the information that I had presented, I could put that all into a document and get that to you
Perfect.
guys. And last time, I didn't want to come up with a number myself. I kind
Right.
of wanted to see what the court was thinking that they wanted to do. But if you'd like for us to just send a proposal, we can definitely do
yeah,
that.
I think that'd be great. Spartana, did you have your hand up?
I did. I want to just make a comment, and I think we do need some numbers, but I also understand this is not a cost-benefit ratio deal.
Yeah.
Because if you can save
Yeah.
one person, then
Yeah.
that's out the window. So, but there does need to be some numbers put on that to see, but I don't want to go down the road saying this is a cost-benefit deal.
No,
because it's not.
Yeah, I understand, definitely.
Squire Blackburn?
And I'd also like to know, the capacity you have. It's not like this is the minimum we're wanting to do, or this is what's the maximum you
Yeah.
all could handle?
Yeah. And,
So
and,
we
and,
could know the full picture.
yeah,
of
and
what
that's
we're able to do.
growing as we continue to
Right.
expand to the other facilities, so.
So let me ask you,
Feasible.
I know this is public comment, but now we're having
Sorry.
a conversation. Just curious, what were you doing in town today? Were you up on the hill, or what brought you to
No,
town?
actually, so we are in the process of putting together some testimonials. So I've spent all day listening to people talk about their own personal experience using the device, and it's been pretty amazing to hear. It's like literally all different walks of life, all different types of substances that they're trying to come off. It's been an incredible day, and I get to do it again tomorrow, so.
That's awesome. Good. Squire Wisman?
Judge, I'm going to go back and watch our meeting because I'm feeling a little bit, revisionary commentary here from that meeting. I distinctly remember us talking about wanting to move forward with some different allocations, and I remember talking about 20,000 as a way to help maybe up to 20 people that we thought the need was there. But whatever way we want to handle it, I just want the public to know that these are opioid funds that we're going to be spending that are sent to us from the federal government because of the opioid crisis in Kentucky, and this has been money that has been set aside to put people into treatment, to combat problems, to combat addiction directly, as well as preempt and prevent addiction. So these are not your tax dollars that are going to work. These are funds that have been paid out by big drug corporations and drug distributors that are sitting in our bank account waiting to be used to help people, and I don't like delaying. So I hope whatever we can have, if I can ask for it to be ready at the next meeting in January for us to vote on, I would like to see us really get going with the new year. I know there's need. I hear people wanting to use the device, and that money is hard to come up with sometimes per individuals that want to do that, especially in their predicament. So, and I said 20,000. I meant 20. We had 20 people. Sorry, not 20,000, but 20 people.
And I will tell you, Franklin County is one of the handful of counties that has really dove into figuring out different ways to use this opioid money, and that is so appreciated because it needs to be a whole person effort. So
Yeah, no,
I'm very
absolutely.
appreciative of that.
Squire Harry?
I by no means was trying to say that I'm not supportive of it, I'd
Oh,
just
yeah.
like to see where we're at.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I think it's great we're doing what we're doing.
I totally understand,
And I'd
absolutely.
like to see a lot more be done. I wasn't
Yeah.
trying to come across as, no, but I like to know what it is.
Yeah, no, and I absolutely get it. Yeah, when I was here in November, I just kind of read off the information, but I can send that to you guys so
Yeah.
you can have documentation for all of that,
That'd be
so.
great. Squire Tanner?
Well, my comment wasn't meant that we didn't need to see numbers, because we do need to see. We do need to see.
I'm
We're all
sorry.
wanting to do the right thing.
I will get that to you guys. I'm sorry to just drop in like that.
It's all
but
good, yeah.
I'll get that over to you, and thank you for your time.
Squire Wisman?
I was just wondering, could you elaborate? I saw that you are filming testimonials today in town, and I'm wondering if that is going to be for a production or something. Can you state, is more going to be sent to the legislature maybe for them to?
It's going to be
review, or
used
how-
for a few different things, and we're still kind of trying to figure that out right now. So it's, different marketing stuff, hopefully getting it to legislators and just, different things.
I'm going to say if it's something that we could get out to the public more, so I'm happy to
yeah,
help try
absolutely.
to push out any way we can.
Yeah.
So please let us,
Yeah.
send us anything,
Judge, can I?
Yes, Squire Dykes.
I will tell you this, I have been sitting in on these testimonials, and honest to God, I could not cry through most of them. However, I will say that it was really interesting because we had a couple of people that talked about being on, they had gone to rehab, they had gotten Suboxone, and they've been on it for years and could not get off of it. And I have not been in active addiction, so this, this piece of this is new for me. And I just found it really interesting that what I'm hearing is that the cure, the fix for it, is horrible to get off of. Like, it is worse than getting off of heroin. And so that just hurts my heart that people are going through that. And the net device seems to work very, very well and very quickly for that. So just know that. And then we have the kratom issue, which we have not even talked about in this court, but probably needs to be talked about. And we actually have somebody here tonight that was treated for kratom, and it works really well for that as well. So the more I see, the more excited I am about it, to be honest. I think it's going to be used very widely very soon. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks
I
for all you
appreciate
do. Any other public comments while we're here? All right, please state your name, and you have 3 minutes.
Nathan Doyle, and I don't know what if that's the agenda tonight. I don't want to take up a bunch of time. I just want to plant the seeds that the Old Duckers Golf Course has funds to be spent to improve those grounds, add amenities, and myself and a lot of the people that will use that park are looking forward to hearing what you're going to do with those monies. And we hope to hear those soon and get those projects started. I know that people are starting to use the park, and I've mentioned improving some safety issues and things like that on the grounds. Hopefully we can start to see some of that stuff come together.
I'll let you know, a couple weeks ago, Squire Blackburn, well before Christmas, went out there. We deemed that the bridges were too big for students to be fixing. I was actually scheduled to go look at the paths and the bridges this week with our road super there, but
perfect.
Unfortunately we had a death in the family, so
I understand.
wasn't able to do it. But yes, we are slowly kind of getting there, and I'd welcome you if you want to come to a park meeting. We have
Absolutely.
them every month.
Okay.
They're published. Be more welcome there.
Happy to do so.
Yep.
All right.
Good deal.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Nathan.
Yep.
I'll make sure you get the date on that.
Yes, please.
Yep.
All right. Thank you.
All righty. Anything else? All right, we're going to move on. Speaking of road department, Mr. Mike Dees is here. He said he's been looking forward to getting up and giving a presentations from his last meeting. This is highlight of his job. Right there, Mike?
You're exactly right.
How you been?
Pretty good.
Good.
This week we've been doing a little mow trimming, and this nice weather we've had, we've got started on our tree removal. We started out in Bald Knob, and what you're looking at there is the culvert pipe we talked about on Isaac Shelby. We got our part of it patched. Now we're ready for spring and to get the guy to come in and run the liner through it.
Okay, good. I'm sure
And
everybody got
the
their
last
place
of our
to have.
salt's still trickling in, so we're about caught up on all that.
How did snow and everything do? All the new trucks work well, and knock on wood, no issues?
Yeah.
All righty, what questions do we have for Mr. Mike Dees tonight? Squire Tanner?
It's not a question. I want you to go back over that photograph of the tiles.
Mhm.
It's running into that. Tell me about that a little more.
That's out on Isaac Shelby. That is a drop box where 3 big drains out of that subdivision come together. And that big culvert pipe you see, it is like, when it runs out, it's like 10, 12 foot deep at the end. And it would be like a major project to dig that up and replace it. There's a company out of London, the Department of Transportation uses them all the time. They'll come through there and blow a liner. It more or less makes a new culvert without having to dig everything up.
Because it runs under the road and then on the backside of it.
And through yards
Yeah.
and under sewer lines, and
Two of those pipes look like maybe a 10 or 12 inch pipe road.
They are.
2 or 3 foot.
they're coming from some drains up in the subdivision.
I think it's a 4.
Squire Blackburn, any comments? I know you've been working on that issue for a while there in Governor's Place.
Well, we had continued,
culverts collapsed back there and y'all replaced a bunch. It's just, it's the head of Slickaway.
Yeah.
All that water that comes in, we've, with planning and zoning, they had the ability to up the restriction of what was recommended. I think we're going 25% above what's recommended in flood prone and it's not necessarily a flood area, but it has stormwater issues and always has, and we're just trying to make sure that any new development not only meets but exceeds the recommendations from the engineering and all that. So it's just been an ongoing thing.
Yeah. And I want to thank Mike and his team because when he kind of brought this to us a while back, to dig it up was going to be a major, major issue. I mean, like he said, 10, 12 foot deep, and I don't remember how long it is, 80,
It's
100
like
foot.
185 foot.
Yeah, it's a lot. So, I mean, talking about disturbing, and that's mostly through people's yards. So, coming up with an alternative to use the company to basically sleeve it is a great idea. But we ran a little too late last year, and they said they're going to have to wait till spring. So, but I appreciate y'all getting your work done. So, they're not waiting on us.
Yep.
Any other questions, Squire Sebastian? Thought I saw your hand come up.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you for being here. I just want to ask a few questions in regard to pothole repair. I know it's the season for that. The blacktop plant's closed, so we're not doing any paving. So we're all assuming that that's on the maintenance list of things that you're doing, like mow trimming. While the weather's good, mow trimming is great, cutting back and repairing the culverts. So we just know we're all getting lots of calls about potholes out in the county.
All right.
So
We'll get them took care of.
thank you.
Yep.
Thank you all. for
Did
that.
you by any chance, the meeting we sat in a couple weeks ago, did you by any chance use any of that material?
Yes, I did.
How'd you like it?
It probably wouldn't be for us.
Okay. Yeah, somebody came in and had a new material with bags to fill potholes like during the winter. It's supposed to be better than the regular cold patch, but
Actually, somebody drove by while I was putting it out and made fun of me.
it wasn't me, man. I promise.
I know it, but
You're looking at me like it was me.
I don't think it'll work for us.
Okay, fair enough. All righty, Mike, I appreciate everything you and the
Yep.
team do.
Thank
All
you,
right,
guys.
Thank you. Alrighty, judge's report, obviously it's been the holidays, end of the year stuff, beginning of the year stuff. I do have 2 videos to show you all. Hope you realize, right at the end of the year there, it was the old skating rink and then the old West Banco, I call it the Brain Center, where all the computers were up there in Shinkle Lane Technology Department. So Zach and I think Frank Hayden had bought it. Long story short, a company called Uni out of Canada is leasing it, and they're bringing 70 jobs to Franklin County. So, but they had to get in by the end of the year. So, Andrew, you want to play the short little video there, please? Hello, Franklin County Judge Executive Michael Muller, and I am joined with
Mayor Lane Wilkerson. We're proud to be joined by local investor Zach Moore.
Thank you very much, guys. Today, we're excited to announce a new tenant here at an infill project off Bypass Plaza. This is a former skating rink back in the 80s, and today we've signed a lease with Uni, and they expect to be moving in shortly after the first of the year and bringing 70 new jobs to Frankfurt.
Well, that is amazing news. So if you add that 70 jobs plus everything else Penny Peevler and her team have been working on, we're well over 300 jobs created just here in Franklin County this year. And that's amazing for city and county.
2025 has been a big year of jobs announcements, but there's more in store for 2026. We have a lot of momentum, and it's city and county working together on economic development with a shared vision, shared purpose, and just a realistic vision on how to get things done.
Yep. So, Zach, on behalf of the county, and I'm sure the mayor feels the same way with the city, we appreciate your investment and bringing more jobs to Franklin County. So, thank you.
Thank you.
All right. And then the next one, Andrew went out. We always talking about our park project because that's a big deal going on right now. So, Andrew went ahead out there and kind of shot a video. So, Andrew, I don't know if we'll show the whole thing, but why don't you go ahead and give her a whirl and we'll go from there. This is kind of where we are as of a couple days ago. finally getting most of the light poles up. I know they were back drilling today. They had some down in the lower part, hit some rock and stuff, so a lot of the poles are up. It's amazing how much soil they've moved there on that job site. It's a lot. You can see all the black poles are basically like the netting for the backstops of all the softball complexes. Those footers right there in front of that machine are basically, I think, the dugouts, the footers for the dugouts. And I know this month they're going to start doing all the underground utilities for where the buildings are going. The buildings have been finalized, and now they're going to start running all the pipe and stuff for that, and then get those slabs poured, which is a great thing. All right, Andrew, I think we're good, buddy. Thank you very much. All righty, I'm going to keep moving then. We're going to go ahead and jump down to item no. Does anybody have any questions on the softball complex just while we're on it? For anybody? It's going well. If you get a chance, go out there. Mason with Codell is always there. He'd be happy to show you around. But they've been out there in rain, sleet, and snow working. So it's going very well. So I'm appreciative of everything they're doing. So, all right, I'm going to jump on to number 2, minutes from our December 18th, 2025 meeting. Anything on that one for anybody? Alrighty, next one is minutes from our December 22nd, 2025 meeting. Anything from anybody on that one? Alrighty, and then I believe Amy is here. How are you doing tonight, Amy?
Fine, thank you.
Good, thanks for being with us.
So this agenda item is a budget transfer. Planning and Zoning has requested a budget transfer, and I've attached the support for that. I'm also transferring from a contingency line $50,000 to cover the MOU with Josephine Sculpture Park.
All right, what questions do we have for Amy on that? Alrighty, seeing none, would you like to go to Treasurer's Report?
You have the revenues and expenses as of December 30th, and happy to answer any questions you have on those.
Any questions for Amy on that one? Alrighty, she's smiling ear to ear.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Alrighty, payment of claims. Does anybody have anything for Kim on payment of claims? Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. I just have one question on, and it's on the first page, and it is item 015001-709. It just says chair. Is that a chair? Did one just break? It's 01, it's on the first page, 015001-709, furniture and fixtures.
It's a new chair in the office that broke.
Okay, all right, thank you. These unfortunately don't have a lot of description, so it's just, thank you.
And speaking of chairs, I know we're not in budget season or anything, but I know we talked last time about new chairs in here, so just keep that in mind. If once we get into budget season, it might be, Amy can find the money for us, it might be a good thing for everybody.
Yeah, I'm okay with mine.
I like my chair.
Yeah, okay, hey,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah, I'm all right with it. I'm fine with mine.
Alrighty, anything else for Kim on payment of claims? Alrighty, next we're gonna jump on down to it's pretty much the meeting, the admin code, and I know we've been working on this for a year. I'm gonna just read a little thing before we get going. In our admin code, basically on the first page, whereas the judge executive has established an administrative service committee consisting of 2 magistrates and the judge executive to consider amendments to the administrative code. And whereas the administrative service committee has met and considered changes relating to the general administrative section of chapter 30 administrative code of the Franklin County Code of Ordinances related to the office of the judge executive. I know last meeting it was brought up about the committee and why they were kind of doing what they were doing. So I just want to kind of read that before we get going. Max, anything from you before we kind of go over guess we're looking for any kind of errors, any kind of thing that anybody caught? I mean, I think if it's too big of a change, we'll have to go back to first reading. But if it's just little things here and there, I think they could hopefully be addressed. So, anybody have anything?
Are you talking about each one individually or the whole group?
I'm just gonna lump them together unless you wanna go one by one. I mean, to me, it's,
I just asked where you were.
yeah, no, I appreciate that. And I was hoping you were gonna read all these for me when we get into voting session, Squire Tanner.
I'll take number one.
We'll divvy them out, yeah.
Just call them my number if you're done.
What's that?
Just call them my number if you're done.
Yeah. All righty, anything that somebody feels like it needs to be, Squire Sebastian?
I'll take a couple of things. We had an email question come to the body about a couple of things in the code, and so I just, in this draft document, so I just want to reiterate that not only did the Administrative Services Committee work on this draft, but departmental leadership was there, staff was there, and they actively participated in not only the review, but the comment process. They provided input, recommendations, and a lot of practical guidance on how the administrative code is used to promote the efficient administration, as well as established standardized procedures all across county operations. We had human resources in those meetings. The fire department was part of those meetings. We had the road department, we had the jail, we had planning and zoning, we had our treasurer, our grants administrator, both of them. We had accounts payable staff. We had some other magistrates drop in when certain members of the committee could not be part of that conversation. One of the questions that came up, and certainly the key to this is the fiscal court, as we know, the powers of the fiscal court, is to control and regulate the fiscal affairs of the county. So I think that the two email questions were, one of them had to do with change orders. And if I can, I will make a point to read the language that's in there. I did not print that out to read, and I'm trying very hard over here on my document to read that, and I'm just not coming up with it as fast as I would like to, and I apologize. So, in 30.115, authorization of county contracts, so it says in this draft document, in item B, the county judge executive may approve change orders that do not exceed 10% of the project, and I want to call everyone's attention to the word project, not to exceed $30,000. So a project, as we all understand it to be, is the entire construction effort. So if we use the road department, for example, and let's say our road department was $5.7 million to construct, take care of all of the items. That is one project. So it's not each individual change order that comes to us, it's the overall project. So if there is some confusion about the wording, it's very easy for us to, and that's what this process is about, to make sure that we have the terminology that is clear and understandable to everyone. So, but I just want to call everyone's attention to the intent of the group that met was to discuss, was this portion to be per project. So for example, it would be the overview of $5.7 million, and I'm using that as an example. So it would be either 10% of the project, but no more than $30,000 that could be addressed outside of this body to keep the project moving along. Because in the road department, as we recall, we had a series of change orders that stopped some of the process and the project moving forward. So I wanted to take that on to address that because it came to the body. It was a great question.
Yeah.
And we just want to make sure that it's clear. So if there was some confusion on the terminology or it is unclear, the goal for all of us is to make sure that it is clear.
Yeah.
So, Squire Tanner, you were in the room at every meeting too.
That's correct. We after that email came out, we reviewed our thought process going through there and technically looked up the definition of project, and it says it's defined as a precise, all-encompassing way to capture the full scope. So we're not talking about how much the electrician might be overrun, or the plumber might overrun, or the HVAC guy. It's the whole thing. And that's what the project is. That's in our, in definition. And so it's not something we just didn't look at, we did. I mean, and it's a very good question, and it's certainly easy to misunderstand, but that's the way we look at it. The project's a project.
Well, to underscore all of it, I mean, we appreciate the deliberate review of this.
Yes, absolutely.
So, you know, everyone who worked on it is human, and they bring a different perspective to this. So there could be words that unfortunately got left out of the typing. So we're falling on everyone here at the table to bring that up, and it's wonderful that we not only had this body look at it, but staff looked at it too, just to make sure all the words are right. So I appreciate that, more than I can say.
I agree with you totally on that, Sherry. On this one in particular, on B, the 10% of the project not to exceed 30,000, does that language look good to you, Max, as far as, so we don't have 5 $29,000 change orders on one project?
I think project is pretty self-explanatory.
All right. I'm good with it.
I mean, certainly
Yeah.
we're open to whatever
Yeah.
makes it
I just want to make sure.
easily
I agree with you.
understandable, because 10 years from now, this language could come back up. So if it is not fully understandable, let's fix that now, so that everybody understands what that means.
If you're worried about confusion, you could add overall in front of the word project.
It was funny because Squire Tanner and I talked very quickly right before this meeting and said, we use that word.
So if you all want to.
So whatever simplifies that and makes it easily understandable, that's what we want to do.
What's consensus of the court there? You want to add overall?
Can I ask which item that is? Which?
I'm sorry, I thought I read that
Agenda
off. It
item
was
9.
9 under.
Yeah, sorry.
Right here under.
I apologize.
9, and then it's the. what's the second?
30.115B.
Yes, 115B.
It's at the top,
You
be
know,
at
I'm
the top
not-
of the second page.
We had talked about some various things, but it still looked to me like that when it comes right down to it, it says of the project.
And so again, overall, we're happy to include that so that it is very clear, so there is no confusion.
So just put overall in between the and project, the overall project, and that's crystal. I don't think it's necessary, but I mean, if you think there's,
I'm good with it the way it is, but if those 2 words makes it better, we'll add those 2 words too.
Absolutely.
I'm of a differing opinion, of course. I remember an instance where we had a road department project that was done in-house in my district that ran about $50,000, if I remember at the time, and that was the scope of the project per the engineers and everything else. And then when it came back to us to approve the final purchase, we argued that it was $45,000 additional, almost another 50% of the project that was approved, and rightfully maybe so, because it had to be done immediately or the road would not have been reopened and people were trapped behind it, and to have had an emergency meeting and all that would have meant the road being closed for 2 days in that instance. So I'm struggling on a set number versus maybe a percentage of a project, because we may have something that is very small scale that would be very easily done, and then we may have something that's almost an emergency situation where, you know, and I don't know how to handle that, and that was one of the questions I had noted for that let's say arbitrary figure, but it is really arbitrary, so.
Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge. That's an excellent question. It is, that anomaly is a good word, because that is an atypical situation. And for us to try to address every scenario in this window, What we wanted to think about, and we kept as our guiding roadmap through all of this, what are logical things, because we as a body are, per KRS.080, the powers of the court, we have to control and regulate the fiscal affairs of the county. It's one of our overarching goals. So to open that up to a broad scale where that amount could have been $100,000 or $200,000, that's larger than some of the budgets in our individual offices here. So we were trying to use what we felt to be a reasonable expenditure per a large-scale project, and we kind of talked about the road department as our guiding principle because we were in the midst of that at the time. And we saw a number of change orders come through, and some of them were $6,000, but we had to wait for a meeting to address that. Another one may have been $300, and we had to wait for another meeting to address that. So what we're trying to, this gives the authority for the overall project to be to a certain amount. And if it's outside of that threshold, we absolutely need to be sitting in here talking about it.
Squire Tanner, I'm sorry.
This is from recollection, and it's not 100% correct, I know, but in reference to what Eric was talking about, I remember that project very clearly.
Yeah.
And I can't remember the original bid was, but I think the finished project was about 150,000, so the 10% of that would have been only 15. So they couldn't have raised it 50,000 without
Correct.
permission from the court.
But I think
The
in that
judge could
scenario,
come
I would have rather called a special meeting. That was a big deal.
Yeah, it was a big
I
deal.
remember it when it came
And this
to
would
us.
have, this would
Yeah.
have,
It was already
this
done.
language would have forced that into a special meeting because you
Yeah.
couldn't raise it that much.
Yeah.
So we tried to keep those things,
Yeah.
those situations that the court, that the body has found itself in,
Yeah.
at least through our awareness here, as a guiding principle and a touchstone when we came up with these, because we tried to put in a percentage as well as cap it
We did.
to a hard number.
That's,
So is the consensus of the court to add overall?
I think it's clear.
I think it's clear, but that's up to the county attorney. If he wants overall in there, it's just 2 words.
I said I
That's
thought
up
it
to
was
us.
clear.
Okay.
You all asked the question, so I said if you want to further clarify it.
Further
overall.
clarify, further
I
clarify.
think it's clear the way it's written.
Well, then let's pass. If it's clear the way it's written, let's pass on it.
Let me ask it for clarification if I can. In that instance, we've been told that any expenditure effectively is now coming before us for approval, even if it's something that KRS mandates. In your scenario, it doesn't describe in here that those fees will come back for approval by the court, except for approval in that they're paying the bills and whatnot. Should those approval, or how is that going to be retroactively approved by the court, or is it just going to come in the ultimate bills?
So it will come in the bills. So the thought process here was to allow the nature of the project to continue on up to a threshold, which this gives you two such scenarios for the threshold. 10% of the overall project capped at X number. If it goes $1 over that, 50 cents over that, 1 penny over that, it has to come back here for discussion by the full body. But is that a necessary expenditure? And I feel like the judge has brought to us a number of times saying, I've gone to the general contractor, they've presented me with a number, and I've gone back to them to negotiate that number. I feel like we all have heard him say that on multiple occasions, because I feel that number is too costly for what we are getting. So I feel like he has demonstrated that he is doing due diligence every time, but what this does is give him the ability internally to continue to keep a project moving forward within 2 thresholds, a percentage as well as an overall number. And if it's 1 cent over that number, we have to come in here and decide if that is warranted to continue in the manner that they're bringing the change order to us, or we can go back and say, we don't feel that's appropriate, we would like for you to look at it in another light, or we don't think this change order is warranted whatsoever on the project, we don't want to proceed with it. But we always, this body is excellent in ensuring that every dime of county money comes to this body to be approved.
Yeah, and I
We
hope
just
you
questioned a chair being bought.
And I hope you all realize, when things do come and we feel like it needs to wait and the court needs to all weigh in on it, I'm the first to tell a contractor, we just need to wait and make sure the court's behind it. But I do feel like it has, limitations. Squire Dacus.
I just want to state the obvious, that you may not always be the county judge, though.
Exactly.
And so
That's right.
that
Yeah,
is
that's
something
true.
we
We
really
ain't
do
gonna be
have to
fiscal.
look
Yeah,
at when
absolutely,
we're reading
absolutely.
through
But
this.
this is rules for us.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
court.
So, but I'm going to add one more thing, if you don't mind. I'd like to ask the court if, and I don't want to make Kim's life harder, but would it help you guys to have these pages numbered? Because it would really help me to have them numbered. When, just the pages on here, like, it's really hard to find things on here sometimes.
You talking about on the,
Can we just add numbers to
you
these
talking
pages?
about on the,
I
Yes.
printed everything.
Mine's got
just
numbers.
Because it's impossible.
mine gives a Roman numeral, then it gives, if you download it to files, mine gives the Roman numeral, then it gives the letter.
God, I can't see, I'm blind, that's what it is.
Squire
You're
Wisdom.
right.
It's not listed on the page.
I want to ask for a
It is
clarification
on
just
the
because,
page. Well, and I
Okay,
looked
okay,
at
hold
it
on.
from
Yeah,
email.
if you don't download it to the files like that, it won't give you a number.
Well, because you can't.
That-
get the whole page.
All right, Squire Wisdom, please.
there's, so the way this reads, and I had some hesitancy about this part specifically, and a couple others in here that I hope we'll get to, but this specifically says change orders. Now, a change order might be a small scope of a project like the one I mentioned that was necessary to do because we discovered things when we got into it. But my concern is, and in light that we may not always be here, right, that a change order might give the opportunity for a project to have or be pushed with some additional elements that this court hasn't considered or reviewed, if it fits within that $30,000 or 10% project budget. If we have a $100 million, let's just use some round numbers, some crazy numbers, right? $100 million park project that we bid out entirely, or a pool project or something, is the intent. I'm just wondering how this will play out, and you all know I'm always trying to sort of punch the holes and be the devil's advocate, because I think that's our role somewhat too. But in that instance, could a $10 million project be added on that this court hasn't reviewed and approved without our input within the language of the text that is here? And that's where I'm concerned about, and that's some wild figures, I know, but the way it reads, I'm concerned that it could allow that, or not to exceed $30,000, or 10%.
Squire
is-
Tanner,
what's-
do you?
Well, it's
I don't
pretty,
know.
to me, this is a guideline for the county judge to operate by to keep projects moving. If you got a scenario like he's talking about, even this one, it comes back to be paid.
That's correct.
And we have ample opportunity to dissect that and refuse to pay it, send it back, what's going on. And I think that scenario could actually never happen if the fiscal court's doing its job, in which I would assume they're gonna be forever, hopefully, and if they don't, they'll change it. I know that I have 100% confidence that this court would. And so I don't think there's a question about that.
Squire Sebastian.
Thank you, Judge.
Yep.
And just to add on to the comments of my colleague Squire Tanner, this court, for every change order that has come before it, has had a number of questions about the need, Squire Wisman being one of the individuals among this body that asks about each change order. Why did we place the drain box? I've asked questions about drain box. I mean, we've all had questions about change orders for projects. So in this instance, and this section is about change orders, so that is why the figures are in there, and that's why it is specific to change orders. And ultimately, we have the ability, if there are majority votes of this court, we have stopped a bill from being paid. We've done that numerous times. So that's absolutely the purview of the court. And again, I will harken back, we control the fiscal affairs of the county. Not one person, but a majority of the body.
Well, we also
Thank you.
have an excellent county treasurer that points out if things are outside the
Yes.
bid range every time, it
Yes.
never fails. And I think that will continue in perpetual whoever's here, because this is, as Kelly Dacus pointed out, this is not just for us.
That's
No, but
right.
let's not forget, this could be open at any time, and so if there's a new court, obviously they could look at this and change it, Squire Blackburn.
I have one question. Because a lot of the input we get from our county treasurer is coveted. Every time you open your mouth, it's important to me.
Yes, it is.
Very important, because you have better insight than all of us on this. And your question, or not, your comment that you had in that informational email on that particular item, on agenda item 9, being over the total project at 30,000, does that help you? Does that change your comment at all, or does that, what does that do? Does that address your comment?
Well, I do appreciate you all talking about this because I interpreted this line differently.
Correct.
I
We
saw
knew that.
Yes.
I saw that, and that's what I worry about, because there are times where a line is interpreted differently, and I want to make sure that the next treasurer, the next judge, they don't get caught up on this. But I saw this as every change order that comes has to be either not to exceed 10% and not to exceed 30,000. So in my email, the next line said, so if you have 10 different, there's where that project could
You
get.
get $300,000 in change.
But if our
orders.
county attorney's
Yeah.
saying, no, it's the total project,
So,
then we would have to keep track, okay, change
Yes.
order 1's 10,000, change order 2 is, so that we know how much more is left. So, I just interpreted that differently.
and for each of our projects so far, we've kept that running tabulation as change orders have come in, so we're aware of the overall project cost. So that is a matter of typical business that we do. But if there is, and there clearly has been some conversation about this item, so I, as a member of this body, I am okay with putting in the overall project. I'm okay with putting the
As long
words
as I heard
the
anything.
overall. It's not, if it further clarifies for someone who doesn't have the benefit of this conversation, as well as the benefit of it being discussed on the almost 20 meetings where it was discussed,
Yep.
absolutely. Anything that makes it clear for people, I'm for that.
I think it actually does, the more I think.
So,
All right,
I
so
think
Claire-
it does, because a project could be like a smaller
we
project
just don't want anybody.
inside a project, possibly. I know that's
Yeah, and
like
that-
a
and
So
small-
y'all
that's
good with
not
that? Would it say the overall project?
I'm
Could you
great
make those
with that.
changes, Kim?
I sure
I think
will.
that would
Thank
be
Thank you.
helpful.
Squire Wiseman, then Squire Tanner.
I wanted to get back to my point about this in interpretation, because I can see where 10 years down the line, when all of us aren't here, a judge could say, well, I can approve any change order I want to up to $30,000, and that's not the intent, and that's what I wanted you all to clarify. So I'd like to see some language, and that's what I was getting at, I was playing devil's advocate there, some language that says that 10% or $30,000 has to be within the effective scope or intent of the original project, right? It's not an intent that a project's happening, so, well, I have $30,000 that I can add some beautification items if I want to. That's not the intent here, so I'm thinking there should be some additional language added that specifies the original intent, original scope of the project, that it shall not exceed that. And it's not an open-ended checkbook for a future judge to be able to say, well, okay, I've got the lateral ability to go up to $30,000 more. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
Yeah, but I don't know if somebody in this position that won the votes of Franklin County is gonna do something like that. Because ultimately,
Yeah.
if he or she were to do that, then that court would have the ability to go back and change the entire
But here's
code.
the thing.
Yeah.
It is a good point.
Yeah.
And we've all heard horror stories from different parts of the Commonwealth
Yeah, absolutely.
where some things have been
One right now, yeah.
potentially amended outside of
Yep.
the awareness of the body. So I don't think adding that change to this would make a huge difference in the intent, because we all have the same intent.
Yeah.
To do the right thing by the project, but to make sure that that project is doing the right thing for the county.
So you want to add something like for
So
the original scope?
Yes, and it can be I think that's a very simple,
You're talking about adding the two words.
two words, and then if we can, and I'm trying to come up with some here on the fly.
There's, I don't want to overtalk, and I think we we are. But when you bid a project out, you already said, this is what we want. It's already broken down, the whole thing, and it's already set out. So then if you decide, whoever you may be, to change all of that through a change order, I don't think that gets by the court or anybody else, because those numbers are gonna show up. And the only other point I gotta make is the same one that had run across my mind a few times, that our county treasurer has brought up, and I understand that, but there's no other way around it. Whoever is in charge of that is going to have to keep up with, if you have a big project and several trades working and 3 or 4 changes, somebody's gotta keep up to it, to when it gets to $29,000 and say, this is, you're there, without coming to court.
And that next change order might be $500.
Might be 5,000, we might go over, might go under, but,
Right.
and our county treasurer is very good at doing that, so I got one bit to worry about it. And I know that there'll be another one 40 years down the road, because I know she's not gonna retire anytime soon.
All right, so what's the thought? We just changing those 2 words for now?
That's their call, not my call.
Do we need to do
I don't
that
have
now, or
votes.
you wanna do it now? Make a motion to change those 2 words now?
That's fine.
Well,
Well,
We're still mulling over some other language in my.
do you have language in mind to add in there?
I just had thought just adding within the original scope or context of the project.
Well, that's what those
Just-
2 words do.
No, that's just the total budget. I'm saying that whatever the original project is defined as, that this doesn't allow the expenditure to add on
my
elements.
comment
way.
here would be the original project scope.
That's it.
That handles it
That's it.
That's fine.
in 2 words.
2 words. Original,
At the end of the
You-
first sentence of B?
No, it would say the CJE may approve change orders that do not exceed 10% of the original project scope, not to exceed 30,000. So there's a word in front of project original, there's a word after project scope.
All right,
There's
everybody
2
good with that?
words.
I'm good with that. We
There's
talked
2
get that?
words.
So we changed overall to original.
Yes, I got that.
Okay.
Or it can be the overall project scope.
either one
I'm
of them.
okay with either the O words. County attorney? Are you, he had originally said overall, so maybe
Yeah.
it says overall project scope.
All right.
And then
Kim,
that
you
way,
got that?
it addresses
Yes.
everything.
Overall project scope, Max, you go with that?
It addresses,
All right.
it addresses the concern.
As y'all said, these are y'all's rules.
Yeah. All right, we're good. All right.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Kim, can you read that back to us?
I can. You just want me to read the first sentence?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
The CJE may approve change orders that do not exceed 10% of the overall project scope, not to exceed 30,000.
Good with me.
Crystal clear.
All right.
Thank you.
What else do we have to look at before we
Judge,
vote on this thing?
there was
Go
a
ahead.
second, there was another part of correspondence to us.
Yep, go
In
ahead.
regard to 30.117 about selection of vendors and contractors.
Yep.
Currently, the administrative code, that amount is $22,000. And so the committee opted to move that to $30,000. So that's an increase above where it is now. The state price, the state limits that at $40,000. What I will submit to this body is $40,000 would allow any department head to go out and say, you know what, I need a new pickup truck today. I found one for $39,995. You can do
Yeah,
that,
I'm
but
just
I'm
saying,
saying, ratcheting it up to that almost doubles where we are now. And again, I will say, one of the primary tenets of this is to discuss the fiscal affairs of the county. It is not for ease, it is not for simplicity. We need to thoroughly vet and discuss all of those things. So, I for one am still in that 30,000 because it has increased it dramatically, and we all know the economic conditions that we're in. If we stay at 22,000, we will have a lot of lengthy meetings to discuss why it is still at that $22,000 level.
I
So
agree
this
on the 30,
increases
but not
it.
the 40.
This is
Squire
increasing.
Westman.
Thank you, I'm just laying the groundwork.
Yeah.
Thank
As
you.
part of that, I had a consideration that I wanted you all to consider, that we might consider adding $30,000 as a total annual aggregate, if that makes sense. In my mind, those small purchases can add up over a long period of time to be a significant amount of money that then should have a bid process or some other vetting process that we should look at. We've had the experience with one of our departments that we don't directly administer right in the past, that has been a problem. And I thought perhaps that is the place to insert that, because it exempts specifically some of the food items that we would have, for instance, in the jail, but I wanted that to be brought as a consideration, that just those three words, total annual aggregate, might
I think,
take
though,
care of that problem.
Squire Sebastian, to your point, I still think, like, let's say a truck were to come up, I think it would still come before the court
It
to
would.
be voted on. So
Oh.
all it's doing is taking the RFP process out. That sometimes is hard for road
For
department if they're gonna
$22,000
go.
item.
Yeah, exactly. Squire Blackburn.
On that 30,000, I know the state's at 40, and the budgets are considerably different, but I wanted, considerably, I wanted to know, like, you had made a comment that you thought you would like
That to be a little higher. Could you explain to us why, maybe?
Sure, and I may ask Chief Brewer to help me out with this as well, because he does the RFPs, so you know the process. My thoughts are, going up to 40 decreases the RFP process. It makes us more efficient. The timing, how long would you say a typical RFP from writing it to awarding it?
By the time you do the publishing guidelines for the timelines for those, I mean, it's a month and a half a lot of times. And then a lot of times the stuff we see at the fire service end has a, 1 month to 4 month wait time, because that has to be built. They usually don't have that type of equipment just sitting around a lot of times, so that's something we run into with some of our equipment.
And we're not talking about non-budgeted items, right? So it's not like you can go out and buy,
You are, it's any item.
well, then it comes
Any
to
item.
us and we pay it or not.
You're right, if it
I
fits
mean,
within the
it's,
budget.
we're the stopgap.
But typically, these items that we're gonna be doing an RFP, our department heads are bringing those to us in the budget time and saying, we're building this in. This is what we need. And so, those are the things that are already there. They're
And we
going.
approve those when they come to us on those
Exactly.
requests. When the budget's being
Squire
set.
Tanner.
I just want to, which is not the exact same issue you're talking about, it's back to what Squire Whitman's talking about. I think there's some case law or statute, actually maybe, where you can't separate things to get around.
It's called a
the
split
bid.
purchase.
Split.
You cannot do
You
that.
can't buy a refrigerator
That's
without a
correct.
door on it to get by the cost. You can't do
Or
that.
buying something from
Already
the same
you can't do
vendor
it.
on the same day, two separate
Can't
items.
do
That's
it. You
correct.
can't do
It's
that
called
now.
split purchase, and it is
So it's
illegal.
just, the aggregate is, I don't.
Squire Sebastian.
And thank you, Judge.
Yeah.
And so just to get to the point, the state uses number 40,000. The state has a multi-billion-dollar budget. So when they are purchasing items, multi-billion-dollar budget to go across the Commonwealth, I do understand. Our budget nowhere is near the same category. And raising it to 40,000 would almost double the authority that people are given now. So we settled on the number 30,000 to increase that, to give more of an ability due to the economic conditions that we're in now, here at the county, so that we do not have to go through that RFP process. So all I'm laying out is the thought process behind that. Certainly, we each bring some different mindset and skill set to this, and certainly that's why we're having a discussion, but I'm just laying the groundwork as to why.
Well,
Squire Tanner.
there's other, of course, Sherry and I went through this thing, sentence at a time.
Yeah.
But there's other issues in there that covers a lot of things. For example, even using this $30,000 don't mean that you ain't got to have 3 different bids.
Right on.
You have to have three different quotes on whatever you're doing. So it ain't just like running down here to Walmart and buying that's not true. Maybe you could buy $30,000 worth of something at Lowe's, but, that's not, you gotta have three quotes for that. You just don't have to put out
I think it's the RFP
bid,
process that
yeah.
becomes cumbersome for the department heads.
Judge, you're getting exactly to the point. I've created a situation in court a few times where I've said that I don't like the propensity that we have to use our credit card to go to a local big box store or a home delivery online retailer to buy items that aggregately over a year's time could add up to $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. But it's real easy to get on there and buy toilet paper, paper towels, et cetera, that might add to a significant amount, or uniforms, or whatever it may be, and gets us at the end of the year in trouble with our RFP. And that's where I'm cautious that I thought maybe this is an instance to stick that in, because that's a trend I see happening that I don't like, and I think it's going to get us in some trouble in the end. And I want it to be very clear somewhere that that's not the expectation. If there's going to be a budget line item for something that exceeds that amount in a year's time, we want that to be bid up front to supply for the whole year. And maybe there's another place that we could fit that in better, but I didn't see anywhere I thought here was the appropriate area. So,
And I do think, and I know what you're saying there, but I do know we get audited every year, and I think staff does a great job, so I think they're cognizant of that. So let me go back to this 30 or 40,000. For me, we have a treasurer that we all sat here and just commended, and she's coming to us saying she feels like it should be more. That's kind of where I am. It's not like I'm trying to do anything. It all still comes before you all. But as much as we respect our treasurer, she took it upon herself to send this informational thing out. And so I think that's worth looking at for that part there. Again, I mean, like Chief Brewer said, I mean, it could put him down a month and a half. It'd be a lot easier for him to go get 3 quotes, bring it to the court, and we approve it, So that's just something to think about. Like I said, we lean on our treasurer a whole lot. And so for her to bring this up by herself, I didn't talk to her about this at all. So that's all I'm going to throw out. Squire Blackburn.
I want to wholeheartedly agree with you. I was actually shocked when I saw your email, because she doesn't voluntarily say, hey. She does when it's needed, but this was something that I thought, who better an expert on it than you? And I appreciate that. And I appreciate where we're at with our budget and everything. And I took it as, these are budgeted items. This isn't something, and it has to come to us for our approval anyway. So I think if we can remove a hurdle that we're going to come in front of us anyway, I think it makes things more efficient, and it may help us save some things on time and the urgency of things.
Squire Sebastian, give your hand up.
Yes, Judge, thank you. I think we probably need to, each member come up with what it is. So if you're starting with one, and always one's first, every vote. I'm still going to stay at 30,000, and the explanation again, I have to say it for the 4th or 5th time. Our budget is nowhere near the Commonwealth's budget, which is a multi-billion-dollar budget. Ours has doubled because we have new capital projects in it. We're typically in the $35 million range. So I think this, which increases the ability to purchase, does everything that we need to do so that we can discuss and scrutinize that and ensure that we are doing all the things we need to do to stay within our budget. But I appreciate everyone looking at it, because that's what we need to have these discussions.
That's why we're here. That's why we're here.
Absolutely.
Squire Blackburn.
So that's where I'm there.
Yep.
I'd like to see it at 40,000, just because I know that all of our directors of all the departments, the more frugal they are with the money, the more they get overall. So, in the amount of things you can get, and they're looking for the best quality for their people, for their departments. It still has to come before us. We did mention the state, but there's a multitude of people in between the people making the ultimate decision and the people maybe purchasing. So in here, it's not so. It's here. So I'm at 40.
Okay. Squire Dykes.
treasurer.
Okay. Squire Harrod?
So I'm understanding as long as we have the 3 bids, it has to come back before the court, and 40 would be the cap.
Correct. It just basically makes it more efficient, knocks out their
I
RFP
understand.
for under 30, 40, I mean, or whatever.
Whatever the number.
Whatever number is, thank you. Sorry, I'm a little tired.
Yeah.
Been a long couple
I get
weeks.
it.
I'm fine going along with the treasurer.
Okay. Squire Tanner?
So what'd you say? I didn't find with the treasurer?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I am too. Well, I'm the compromising guy here. I kind of thought 35 would have been the number.
Come on, it's gonna be a long night.
But since I'm out on a limb and it's already 1, 2, 3, 4, I might as well be with the treasurer.
Okay.
Somebody's watching, because I heard.
Andrew,
them.
it's Andrew.
Judge, I'm gonna have to go the opposite direction. I think we need to force competitiveness as much as we possibly can. I know it's an obstacle, it's a hurdle, but that's part of being diligent with the public's money, that we seek out the best opportunity and we fully vet those in the best manner possible. Now, there are instances that this one specifically exempts food for operating the jail facility, and maybe some other instances where we exempt that, but I kind of would like to stay at the 22, and I've actually said in court before I'd even like to lower that. Some communities have $5,000 or $10,000 as those thresholds. We are already well and above, to my knowledge, most communities that are around us. So it just makes a little bit more of a hurdle to make sure that we're using the dollars in the best sense, right? So,
And I would honestly say, because I'm here every day, if we were to lower it to something like that, we'd literally have to hire somebody just to do RFPs, you know? I mean,
Well, we
it's-
raised it in the past because of
It's
this.
cumbersome. I mean, it's a
We
process.
visited
and then
this before.
Financial
We sure
things
have.
with the paper and everything else. Okay. I'm gonna support our treasurer at 40, so we'll put it at 40.
So can we not frame this as supporting the treasurer over everything else? Because we're all sitting here trying to come up with the right reason. An
I'll do it for
item has-
efficiency reasons.
Thank you.
Yes, I mean, if that's.
No
what-
one is against what people are
No, no,
saying.
no, no, absolutely.
That is how it is being framed.
Yeah. And I
that
don't mean that, and again.
That is not.
Yep, no, this is
the
about
process
being
here.
efficient and helping our department heads out, who I think do an amazing job, and, okay. Alrighty, anything else on our admin code?
Judge, in this one specifically, I wanted to, I brought forward to this court a couple of times, I think I sent some language to Max a couple of years ago about specifically adding in a local procurement preference. I brought copies of the cities to pass out so everyone could look at that. I thought this could be just the beginning of that conversation. It doesn't have to be something we implement or add in tonight, but the city effectively, as our direct counterpart, right, will give a 5% preference in cost to buy the local store or the local provider over anyone else, and there's some language defining what those terms are, but this is the section that needs to be added in, and we referenced that somewhat in here a little bit already, but we've not codified that in terms of what the language is and how that actually functions and operates, and that can be in purchases of direct items or in bid situations. So I wanted to pass those out just for everyone to sort of get
If it's
some.
okay with you,
some
can we go ahead and
reference.
put that on a committee meeting? I'm all for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm support local, but as far as being efficient tonight, we just trying to get this.
No, I said I didn't want to.
Yeah, no,
I
and
don't wanna go into it
I
tonight.
appreciate
just wanted
that.
to pass that out.
Yeah,
so.
but I do think that's a great thing.
Here's yours.
Squire Harrod, I'm sorry.
I just have some language on agenda item 12, it's 30.150, and it's letter F. It says all meetings of the FC shall have the ability to be conducted by electronic means when electronic means are available.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so what do we do in the reference of road trips? If it's worded shall.
Good enough.
That was I will tell you, that's a mistake.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
We
It's the way it
meant
prints.
to not make that shall, and that was discussed as being a may, and I never changed the
No, that's
typing of
fine.
that.
That's
And
fine.
so, that's on me,
Shame,
because that
shame.
was caught before and discussed in the meeting, because there are certain things
We
you
talked
can't
about
do
that, yeah.
on video teleconference.
Right.
So
And I
that
don't
is,
think
that
we
is
need to get into that.
absolutely my fault.
Kim, do you
That
know
I
what it
didn't-
is?
that I didn't get that fixed
It's on
before it came to you.
Yeah, no,
That's my fault.
agenda number 12, second page,
Item
F. Should be May, okay.
Should be May. And the thing is I had 129 pages to go through and try to fix words, and I missed one here.
That's what we're here.
I missed that. So that's me.
All good.
I apologize.
Squire Tanner.
Yes,
me.
we have to go back to the other, on the other page, because we have to change 3119A and 3121A to correspond with the 30 rate. If we raise that to 40, we gotta change those too.
So what we need to do is contemporaneously amend the affected sections, okay? So that's what we'll do there. So we'll make the motion to contemporaneously amend the affected sections where 30,000 is noted that it needs to come up to 40.
Yep.
Where it is applicable, okay? That's the way to handle that, rather than to go through it. We go through it line by
That's
line.
fine.
Yeah, no,
Those
You're
other-
exactly
that's
right.
fine, but those other two places. gotta
Yes,
be-
sir.
Squire Wisman, you had your hand up.
Judge, you mentioned it earlier. I'm just wondering if we can get our county attorney's opinion about what constitutes a substantial change that we have to do an additional first reading. In my mind, changing a significant number like that is going to cause us to have a second reading or second first reading of that item or those items that are impacted by that. I was always advised that small items like punctuation, letters, missing words are not big changes, but any substantial changes require an additional
Okay.
first reading, so.
Mr. County Attorney, do you think changing an amount in there justifies it going back through the whole thing again?
If that's the case, I go back to 30,000.
That's not the way I'm reading the statute. The statute 67077, a proposed ordinance may be amended by the fiscal court after its first reading and prior to its adoption.
That's what I thought too.
I mean, that's what the statute says, so it doesn't even say substantial. The statute directly on point just says
So you can
it can
change.
be amended after the first, before its adoption. And that's why they have those provisions in there where they talk about the time, place, and, as far as between the first reading and the second reading is to give notice to the public, hey, we're going to be discussing these things. And so that's why you have that time period in between. And like I said, the statute doesn't differentiate between substantial or periods or just words.
General Assembly takes the whole things out and put whole new ones in.
Thank you, Mr. County Attorney. All right, does anybody have anything else we need to look at?
Several, Judge, if I can. I'd like some clarification just on the first item. There is a grievance procedure that is removed for our employees, and I don't recall seeing it put back into the
Can you tell us?
future
We
document.
don't have,
Can you tell us where it is, just so we're all looking at the same
It
thing?
is item, well, it's slashed out of the first
Which agenda item?
Yeah, what is it?
item, 7?
What agenda item? 7?
7,
Okay,
page,
None of this handles personnel. None of this is supposed to handle personnel. That's all supposed to come in another one.
well, my question is, if we remove it now, and in the period that we take to get back to the personnel items, are we effectively removing the grievance procedure for our employees? And should we instead maybe just leave that in as it is currently to be amended out once we get the personnel items amended? Because it's really the only, it's odd that it's in this part of it.
I don't know.
Can you, one more time, I'm sorry, can you tell us exactly
It's
where you're at?
under item, let's see here, 30.005. No, sorry, 30.006.
Okay.
And it's the first thing under there. Procedures for appointment, removal, administrative personnel, members of the boards and commissions, grievance procedure. I think this is the, and it
That's where
defines
administrative's gotta be.
defines which magistrates will sit on a grievance board.
but I'm pretty sure
Lots of
our
events.
existing code has grievance in there. So that would cover if, God
It-
forbid, somebody lost somebody.
That is correct. So the personnel section
Yeah.
has not been amended, abridged, changed in any way. So those procedures still remain in whole
Yeah.
as they are today. in there. And
But-
this shouldn't,
And I think the
Should
goal of
not.
this is because there's a lot of stuff in here that shouldn't be in there, just like this personnel thing. That's why we're trying to clean it up.
I get that, but
Yeah.
I'm asking specifically because I did not find it. I could have overlooked it
Okay.
in the personnel section. Because it was stuck in this section,
Yeah.
should we leave it in place until we change the personnel code? But it's in this section.
somebody else can tell us where it is.
Yeah, but we're trying to clean this one up and get the personnel stuff out of it, is what I'm getting at. And
I,
it's
I get that, but
30.006, which line are we at?
the
Go-
entire thing that's struck through.
It's all the way at the bottom,
Executive
under the
committee?
last bold reds.
And this isn't all of it because it's mentioned in another document somewhere, but this is the instance where the executive committee is created that hears the grievance issues. And I'm sorry, guys, I've got all of this.
To the
printed.
bottom of page 7.
Yes, very
Okay,
good.
I got you.
If it is, I just needed to verify that it was.
Striking it here wouldn't take it out of the.
Correct.
Yeah,
I-
that's
I
what I was
just said
getting
that.
at. It's still in the other one.
Yes,
Yeah.
I just said that.
Yeah.
place, but I have no. And this is supposed to focus more on boards
And how
and
we function.
commissions and how we function in that regard rather than a staff.
I completely understand, and my
Yeah.
comment is just if we're removing it from this section to put it, to clean up the documents, if we're not taking it away from our employees, even if it's temporarily, so.
Nope,
Totally
not at all.
understand.
Yep,
That is just what I wanted to verify because I
Yep.
got that cushion from a few employees concerned, and I wanted to specify that that's not the intent.
okay, do we have anything else?
How long do you want to stay? There's one section, Judge, if I may, that I'm looking for that worries me, and it is about disrupting our proceedings, that will effectively jail, that it's just outright illegal, but we don't provide any definitions, I'm sorry. Section 30.153.
Which tab?
I'm sorry, I printed out everything from the last meeting, and my tabs are not lining up with that, but it should
Say it
be
again, Squires, 30 what?
30.153, disturbing meetings. It used to
Agenda
be
item
order of
number
business.
12.
12,
Thank you.
please.
Damn, look at that, Ken. Well
Thank you,
done.
Ken. Just says disturbing of meetings, and then it goes on to state that it shall be unlawful to
153.
disturb a meeting of the Franklin County Fiscal Court or behave in a disorderly manner in any such meeting. Any person violating any provision of this section will be prosecuted under appropriate provisions of the Kentucky Penal Code, and that's all we've got. I'm just concerned that we already have a situation where almost identical language has been adopted by the state legislature that I understand is going to the Supreme Court right now because it was arbitrarily vague and didn't specify what a disturbance is or who or whom is disturbing, and I'm concerned that that one's going to get us in trouble.
Oh, let me ask, may I ask
Squires,
County
last
Attorney, is there a section anywhere in the law that describes what a disorderly manner is? That lays out the specificity of a disorderly?
There's a charge of disorderly conduct. There's also a criminal charge of disrupting a meeting or possession in the second. So
Yeah.
there's criminal statutes right on it. And the criminal statute was adopted in 2006. The one that was just adopted in the last legislative session is a completely different one. It's 525-150. The person is guilty of disrupting meetings and processions in the second degree when with intent to prevent or disrupt a lawful meeting, procession, or gathering he or she does any act tending to obstruct or interfere with it physically or makes any utterance, gesture, or display designed to outrage the sensibilities of the group. Disrupting meetings and processions in the second degree is a Class B misdemeanor. So, I mean, there's a criminal statute right on it.
So you feel like we're good on this one?
If it's already specified in state
Yep.
statute, then should we need to reference it at all? When state statute obviously goes into a lot more detail than what we do.
That-
Or should we just add a KRS in reference?
That's your all's choice on how you all want to do that.
I think adding the KRS would be probably helpful. That's just my
Okay,
2
so,
cents.
so do we have to say something after where it talks about Kentucky Penal Code, which would cover all of the appropriate statutes, so are we now going to have to go back and find those I'm just trying to make sure I understand it.
As far as what?
I'm sorry?
I-
This references the Kentucky Penal Code. Do we need to go through that Kentucky Penal Code and the appropriate statutes to name whatever's appropriate in this document? I'm just trying to make sure I understand the frame of the question to make sure I know what is asked to be put in here.
I feel like the penal
Because
code
the
covers
penal
the
code
base.
is-
It covers the base.
Covers the base.
That is why we put
This
the-
covers the base. I don't see how we could go
Thank you.
back and do that. If we do, we're gonna, then it effectively kills the whole thing.
I'm fine with it.
And, you know, we need to either move, if we need to amend this thing again, we can later on. This is not the end of the day. I mean, we've worked on this, and besides that, everybody had a copy of this for at least two times.
6 months.
Yeah, at least 6 months, and if there's, other than being very, and few things that need to be changed, we've changed. It's probably needed to be, even though we might not all be on the same, but it's fine, we're all fine with it. So I think we need to move right on with it, and I can't make a motion for call for the question, but I would if we was in session.
So I think you've heard a majority of the court.
Yeah, we're gonna keep moving on this one.
Thank you, Judge.
Yep. All
I'm
righty.
going to disagree, because I think that
You
could
can just vote no.
potentially, I will, but I think that could potentially infringe upon freedom of speech and we have an instance in Kentucky right now that a court is going through something similarly that I'm concerned about how it would be implemented in the
At the end of
future.
the day, he went to law school, he's here for us. We didn't go to law school. If our
something's
county
extreme,
attorney
that is-
says it's good, and little old Franklin County, I'm sure we're fine.
I'm pretty sure we put a clause in, I think we did, or if we didn't, we will. It says if something in this thing is illegal, it doesn't knock the rest of it out.
That is correct.
So then the
That is
Supreme
the
Court,
end
can
of
make-
the
the
document.
Supreme Court may be
Yes,
6
sir.
months before they move on anything.
I put a, yes, sir, I did.
All
Put
righty.
that in there.
Does anybody have anything else that they can't live with for right now? Are we ready to?
I'm ready to call the question, Judge.
Judge, just generally, a question if I can, there's multiple instances where, and I'm sorry, this document came to this body, and this is the first instance that we've had to interject and question these little, as a body, as a whole, as we're supposed to do. It's illegal for us to do that behind the proper meeting setting, whether anybody likes it or not. And however much time has been spent on it, we are to do these things in this body. We could have had a work session, we could have a work session on every one of these. We're in a work session now to ask these questions in a public format, and I'm trying to do so. If we want to hurry, fine, I've got things to get to too, but this is the first time we've had the opportunity to do that, and I will, I have an attorney's opinion if I need to read that about how it's improper for us to conduct business outside of the overall meeting that the public can come to and to make these comments. But there's lots of
So you're saying
little,
committee meetings aren't legal?
I'm saying for
That's
us
what he
to
said.
have input on this as a court and to, outside of a forum like this, was inappropriate, and I was not going to participate in that, and I told you all that time and time again. And we were told that we were going to have meetings just on these things, so I've got some concerns on a number of items, but they're not anything terribly drastic except for the ones that I've just brought up. There's some language and some reasoning. I'm just wondering, specifically here, there's a number of instances where state statutes and things are referenced, and we took out a lot of those that were referenced because the state statutes change all the time. But I'm wondering about some of these, whether, and I just wanted to ask Max specifically, whether he's vetted all of the language in here to comply with state law. There's specifically some things about board appointments I'll just bring up that I'm concerned may conflict with state statute about days and appointments, 45 days versus 60 days appointments. Some generalities that I'm concerned, and I have not heard whether has been vetted legally after it was drafted by members of this body to comply. So I'm asking that, I suppose, right now.
There's specific provisions of these ordinances that you're asking questions about, or just in general, has every statute mentioned in here been vetted? So that, I guess that's my question is, which sections are you talking about?
There doesn't seem to be an appetite to go through every single thing, so I'm asking generally if you have reviewed every document and will state that everything is in compliance with state law or federal law.
State
as
and
it's-
federal law?
As it is written and brought to us to be adopted.
Do I believe that this is in compliance with state and federal law? Yes.
Every,
Now, have I
Everyone.
reviewed every federal statute and gone through every federal statute to make sure? Like I said, if you can point to a specific one, as opposed to just the generality of anything that's mentioned in here, does it all comply with everything?
I can walk through them all.
Can I call for a question? I call for the question.
You recognize that?
Yes, I do.
There it is.
I think that has to be seconded, Judge, to move forward.
I'll second it.
Yeah, so, it's fine. We can reopen this at any time and go through them, right? But now that it has been, and I'll state that for the record for the public, I'll send out by email what I circulated about local preference ordinance into the newspaper. I just wanted to introduce it to you all here, and then I'll send it out so it's appropriately recorded.
And if you got a specific section that you want me to look at, I'll more than happily look at it, okay? Just like I said, just let me know.
Alrighty, other business, do we have any other business? Alrighty, we're gonna go ahead to the voting session. This is January 7th, 2026, and this is our voting session. Clerk, please call roll.
Squire Sebastian,
Here.
Squire Blackburn,
Present.
Squire Dykus,
Here.
Squire Harris,
Here.
Squire Tanner,
Here.
Squire Wisman,
Present.
Judge Miller.
Present, thank you, clerk. Authorization for approval of minutes from the regular meeting of December 18th, 2025.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization for approval of minutes from the special meeting of December 22nd, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Did you get that, clerk?
Yes.
Motion passes. Authorization to approve budget transfers for fiscal year 2025, 2026.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Authorization to receive treasurer's report.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Payment of claims. Is there a motion to deny any claim? No motion was made. Let the records reflect claims are to be paid. This is a second reading and approval of an ordinance amending the general administration section of Chapter 30 Administrative Code of the Franklin County Code of Ordinances to remove and add language under subsections 30.001, 3002, 30.003, 30.004, 30.005, 30.006, 30.007, A, B, C, D, E, and F.
May I?
Go ahead. You have a question? Go ahead, Squire.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge. I'm going to ask a question of the county attorney. As the body discussed making a change of $40,000, should that appear in any of the items? Do we have to amend this to make that change across the board? I don't know how we need to do that because it's in multiple places, as Squire Tanner noted.
3 places, I think.
It's in multiple places, we know that, so I'm just trying to ensure that we do it appropriately. So do we have to amend each, because I, off the top of my head.
That's a good question, yeah.
I don't know where
that
that's
answer.
at.
Well, we only changed one on that one.
We changed one item in this, 7, because we added the words.
Right.
And we can have our clerk recount that, so do we need to amend? I'm just trying to make sure I understand how
Or
to
do
do
I
it the
say
right
as
way.
amended under each section?
Those sections that need to be amended, it needs to be amended, as amended in those sections.
Oh, do we need to make a motion to amend that and then come back and have him read that? I'm trying to make sure I understand how to do it the right way. I'm not asking it.
No, you're right.
I believe it's as amended.
All right, so the motion would be for this one, as amended, the second reading, and you won't have to read it again, or will you have to read it again? Okay.
As amended.
Okay, thank you.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Motion passes.
Hang on just a second.
Was that the only section we're gonna have to do that for?
No.
Yeah, so I need, y'all need to help me here, because, all right.
When you get down to number
So we know 12, right?
9,
It's
Section
9,
9,
9 and 12.
7, 9, 12.
7, 9.
12 has to be.
Okay.
Shall has to be taken out of.
Okay, I got it.
So
This one's
just-
fine. The next one that you're about to do.
Yes, all right, thank you.
It's as is.
Yep, thank you for the help, Court. I need all the help I can
Get
get.
it?
All righty, second reading and approval of ordinance amending the financial administrative section of Chapter 30 Administrative Code of the Franklin County Code of Ordinances to remove and add language under subsections 30.020, 30.021, 30.022, 30.023, and 30.024, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Motion passes. All right, so this one here.
Amended.
As amended.
As amended.
Yeah, as amended, second reading, approval of a ordinance amending the purchase and contracts of section, chapter 30, Administrative Code of the Franklin County Code of Ordinances to remove and add language under subsections 30.115, 30.116, 30.117, 30.118, 30.119, 30.120, 30.121, 30.122, 30.123, 30.124, 30.125, and 30.126, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is this, these changes on this one, are they recorded? Is that right?
That one's the 40,000.
Yes, as amended.
Any nays?
Nay.
All right, motion passes. Alrighty, we're on 10. Second reading, approval of ordinance amending the delivery of county services to road department section of chapter 30, Administrative Code of the Franklin County Code of Ordinances to remove and add language under subsections 30.135, 30.136, 30.137, 30.138, and 30.139, A, B, C, and D.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Motion passes. Second reading and approval of ordinance amending the administrative code of the Franklin County Code of Ordinances, Chapter 30, to add language under new subsections, Board and Commissions, 30.140 and 30.141, A, B, C, and D.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. As amended, second reading approval of an ordinance amending the operation of the county of Fiscal Court, section, chapter 30, Administrative Code of the Franklin County Code of Ordinances to remove and add language under subsections 30.150, 30.151, 30.152, 30.153, 30.154, 30.155, and 30.156, and 30.157, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and H.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes.
Judge, I have to ask on this next one, I think there's a grammatical error that I need clarification that I'm concerned will opt something out. Under Fire Department, A, it says the fire department also supports the county fire department when situation dictates. I believe that is supposed to be city, and I don't want us to have that.
It's
But it
in
may not.
13?
30.166, fire department. The county fire department is responsible for firefighting and emergency response in the unincorporated area of the county. The fire department also supports the county fire department when the situation dictates.
It is. It's
Yep.
another mistake.
Okay.
Just,
All right, it's a great catch.
Sorry.
So I'll read that as amended then. Clerk, did you
I
get that?
apologize.
Yes.
Yep, perfect. Thank you, Squire Wisman. Okay. So, here we go. Second reading and approval of ordinance amending the administrative code of the Franklin County Code Ordinances, Chapter 30, to add language under new subsections, county services 30.159, 30.160, 30.161, 30.162, 30.163, 30.164, 30.165, 30.166, 30.167, 30.168, and 30.169A and B.
So moved.
That's amended.
As amended. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought I read that.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Second reading and approval of ordinance amending the county policy section of Chapter 30 Administrative Code of the Franklin County Code Ordinances to remove and add language under subsections 30.170, 30.171, 30.172, 30.173, and 30.174, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, and M.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes.
I'm gonna vote aye on that one, Judge.
Okay, clerk, did you get that?
Yes.
Okay. Second reading and approval of ordinances amending the administrative code of the Franklin County Code Ordinances, Chapter 30, to add language under new subsections county investment policy 30.175 A and B.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Nay.
Motion passes. Second reading and approval of an ordinance amending the administrative code of the Franklin County Code Ordinances, Chapter 30, to add language under new subsections Internet Policy 30.176A.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay.
Aye on that one as well, Judge.
Alrighty, motion passes. Authorization to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say nay. Motion passes. Thank you, court.